Hello, it's Laurie, your BlockchainBrad, and today I'm speaking with the CEO of Travala. He's here to speak all about what it means to travel via crypto. Matt, thank you very much for your time.
Hi, Brad. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here again.
Likewise, mate. Now, once again, thank you for making time, because getting updates from the source, there's nothing better than this. And obviously, you've been doing a lot since we last spoke. So for all those wondering, this is entirely free. There's no sponsorship. There's no secret deals. This is just information education. That's the focus. So Matt, thanks for being here. Let's talk about this a bit more. What are the key developments that have been happening with Travala since we last spoke in terms of updates, in terms of programs?
Yeah, so we've been non-stop since we last spoke. I think it was about 4 or 5 months ago since we last chatted. Mm-hmm. We've had constant developments to the platform, constant improvements to the UX UI. We've increased the platform up to 2 million properties and listings right now. So we have so much inventory, so many available room nights. We have added multiple different cryptocurrency native payment methods, which means that it's super fast and super slick to be able to pay with all these different cryptocurrencies. We have 20 right now, including the AVA token, which is our native asset. And obviously fiat, like we had before, through credit cards and PayPal. Additionally, from that, we've created multiple different partnerships with these different crypto projects, pushing out to as many different areas and as many different communities as we can to really encourage the usage and the spend of cryptocurrency, which is essentially our main vision here. We want people to use cryptocurrency, and we want people to have a gateway to do that. So, right. Why not spend it on a hotel booking? Aside from that, we've created more partners in the travel space. Specifically, we actually just released a Booking.com partnership, strategic partnership with Booking.com 2 days ago at the start of this week. So yeah, that in itself is huge. We've seen so much traction with that release, and it's really helping us provide these different kind of available listings all over the world, and give everyone access to inventory, all the inventory that Booking.com have on the Travala.com platform.
Exactly, mate. And you've always stood for trying to increase the user base of crypto itself, and obviously travel is one of the big things when it comes to something that has that attracts real interest. And it has a real use case, obviously. Some argue that crypto just solely and wholly for payments isn't necessarily a good indicator of utility. What do you say to that kind of response, though, Matt, given that you're really trying to advocate for the spending and use and exchange as a medium of exchange of crypto itself?
Yeah, the way we look at this is that these currencies people hold, and there's very little they can actually do with them. They can use them as a means of exchange from one currency to another. We want to provide a service where, it's easy, it's fast, and you can actually use it for something other than just a transfer to another currency. It needs, for crypto to be adopted, it's quite clear that there needs to be services that, like ours, that it can be used upon. It'd be great if someone was to build out an e-commerce site similar to Amazon, where you could spend your cryptocurrency on all different warehoused products and all different things like that. It's probably coming. Somebody may be building that right now, and it'd be very good to see. And we hope that we're leading in that e-commerce sense of you can adopt this in different ways, and you can add a use case, because payment is a use case, regardless of how you look at it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a really good point. In that context, I wanted to ask you about stablecoins, because quite a few people are now trying to interact with these because of, arguably, and this is their perspective from feedback I've received, is that they prefer, a less volatile asset, let's say, despite its pegging to a fiat asset, such as USD, or a fake one at that, with, as you know what I mean. So in that respect, what are your thoughts on integrating or utilizing stablecoins? Is it something you're averse to, or something you are willing to include?
Well, right now I can tell you that we are actually integrating with a number of stablecoins. We do have some set to be released later this week. And yeah, we're really excited for stablecoins, because we know that they are a dominant position towards the future of the cryptocurrency space. I mean, you only have to look at USDT to look at the trade volume on that in 24 hours. It's greater than any other currency. And that just says it all. Everyone trades from BTC to stable. or Ethereum to stable, or, it's the most logical sense. So yeah, it's something that we're completely open to. We are adopting. We will have multiple different stable coins on the site over time. And yeah, we are working with a number of projects who have stable coins to really push that forward.
Got it.
We will also be creating a cool system within AVA and some stable coins as well, to really focus in on the use cases of AVA and the adoption of stable coins, because we do believe in them. We do believe they are the future.
Right. And Matt, for those parties who want to simply transact and use, that does make a lot of sense. But then for perhaps the libertarians or those who uphold a different philosophy, as we've seen from the past, especially in the earlier days of Bitcoin, many of them want to see monetary policy change. They want to see scenarios move from current fiat-based or decree money that's often has an infinite supply, all beholden to centralized powers. I want to see that shift into a different paradigm where we see decentralized sound-based money. So in the context of what you represent, which means that we can access digital assets for travel in a much more seamless, much more easy way, are you concerned at all, mate, about some of the implications of stablecoins? Because once again, they do have that fiat backing.
No, not really. It's a case of what the user wants. We want to offer everything to the user, regardless of whether they are a Bitcoin maximalist or they love every currency. The thing behind this personally, and the way I look at it is, okay, Bitcoin's great, and yeah, we can use it as a payment method. It's fine, but it's volatile, so it won't be there for everybody to use. Not everybody will want to go into that. People will want to use stable coins. People will want to use fiat as well. So it's important for us as a platform that is open to everyone, that we accept everything and we can take any different currency, or, we fit every user's profile, rather than limiting ourselves to say just accepting Bitcoin on the platform or just accepting AVA, our native currency, because that wouldn't allow our business to grow.
Right. And you make a good point. So what are the advantages of using a stablecoin, for example, in the context of making bookings, for example, with travel, as opposed to fiat through the gateways that you have?
Well, it's a cheaper option. It's a cheaper option for us to be able to transact. We do have cost on the back end, but for the initial taking of the currency, it works out slightly cheaper than a credit card transaction. That's essentially the only real difference. Obviously, if you do have crypto, you do want to spend it, we allow you to spend it. Right. If you do have a credit card and you didn't have the crypto, you can spend it. We're just a gateway to a usage.
Mm-hmm. It makes a lot of sense. Now, there's obviously, the maximalist agenda. They're going to find that difficult to perhaps to swallow, that idea of expanding, the number of cryptocurrency options you're providing. But essentially, let's talk about the suite of services that you offer, or more so, the options I have as a consumer and user. Just how vast is your network now globally, Matt?
Our network's completely global, actually. 2 million properties. That includes hotels, villas, hostels, and that covers 230 different countries, which it's worldwide, completely worldwide. Now, regarding our suppliers, we have suppliers all over the world. We have over 15 now, and they operate in all different regions, and that allows us to give the consumer and the user the best possible price at that moment in time.
Right.
Regarding cryptocurrencies, we are working with 20 right now. We have them listed on the site, such as Litecoin. We work with Litecoin Foundation, Bitcoin.com. We're in the Bitcoin.com wallet directly. You can spend your Bitcoin Cash through that wallet on the Travala.com platform. We're playing out a number of other partnerships, working with people like KuCoin on KuCoin shares, helping them expand their currency. BNB with Binance, obviously we're pushing that as much as we can. As we've just moved to the Binance chain, it made sense. And yeah, we're looking to work with really cool projects that offer really cool, interesting currencies, and that have a user base that want to use the currency more. And we're providing that use case to use that currency.
Right. Now, let's talk about the token, because obviously when we first spoke, when we first met, it was all about you really coming forth with your business proposal. It was about, raising capital, but now you're a fully fledged, entity. You're actually operating, you have a token that really is easily accessible. I can go and make a booking quite easily now. So the token, much like we see with Ethereum, for example, it's been known to transform from its so-called security-like nature in the beginning and then move across into what's now deemed a commodity. So Matt, how can you describe the evolution of your token and really reinforce for us this understanding of its utility?
Yeah, I'd actually go back there and say, AVA has always been a utility token. It's from the get-go. You was always able to use the token on the platform. That was one of our very, very key parts of the system. We've just built out more functions, and as we're building out more and more every single month. Actually, right now you can use it for payment. You can use it to access the smart membership program, where you get an extra 10% discount on the already discounted prices across the whole platform. Through that discount, you get give backs, rewards, and you can also use it on the referral program, where if you invite another user, then you get rewarded in AVA on the platform. So there's all these different mechanisms of AVA, and there's more that we could obviously discuss. And if anybody wants to look at those, they can go into check out the white paper, whitepaper.travala.com, and look into those really amazing use cases that we've actually created for this loyalty point reward system that are also spendable once you've received enough on the platform to book a future hotel, for example.
Right. And Matt, when we look to pre-existing systems, you're looking at airlines, for example. You, of all people, being a world traveler, you've been to so many places, you would have used frequent flyers of some kind or some sort of mileage program to enable free flights at different times. So do you liken that kind of token model to the way in which crypto, in terms of utility, can operate, especially when you're talking about these programs? Because I wanted to find out more about these developments you've made since we last spoke, so people can understand how they're incentivized by your token, either to hold it or to promote it for its value so that you have more reach. I mean, clearly, there is genuine utility if we look to the past. It helps us understand the benefits, perhaps, of this tokenized system.
Yeah, and loyalty reward systems are, like you mentioned, they're slightly broken right now. They don't actually offer you any value. You get the reward point, you can't really do anything with it. We've created a system where you can do something with it. You can use it again in the future. And you can also take it off the platform and use it for other things. Maybe in the future, you'll be able to buy a coffee at Starbucks with it. There's all these different paths that AVA could go down, and we hope that it does go down in the future. It's all a case of growth and moving forward and attracting more users to the platform to take that currency forward. And that's how we are pushing on adoption with it.
Right. Okay. Now, what about those programs? I mean, can you tell us some more details about the different programs that you have, so we can understand how you're evolving, how you're really trying to broaden the scope of the token and your platform?
Yeah. So I'll just take the referral program, for example, right now. Currently, we have a campaign running where people can actually earn Bitcoin depending on how many people they invest. So up till the end of December, actually, it's a limited campaign that we're running. So if basically users of the Travala.com platform right now can go and invite their friends, family, all different categories of people, whoever they choose through their social channels and connections. And once they make a booking on the platform, they then get both rewarded. So if whether that's a person who's in crypto or not in crypto, both the inviter and the invitee both receive a reward, and that is in AVA. So it's putting AVA into the hands of people that maybe don't understand crypto, but they see this as a loyalty reward point where they can use it again on the platform, and it has a real value.
Very clever for expanding, the reach also, because you're going to bring in people like, your mother's uncle, for example, or, a Christmas present. I mean, who knows, but you're certainly increasing the network itself directly, through the people who already understand, the value of Travala as well.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one key example of how we're really pushing forward on that.
Okay. Are there any other programs that are coming up, or anything to add to the incentive structure that you've built into Travala?
There are more coming up, and we can release those when they are ready to be released.
No worries. Okay. Now I want to talk to you about users and usage. Because I was speaking recently just in conversation with another startup called Travel by Bit, and one of the concerns they had was that there was a dearth of users, more globally. That's how they viewed it. So I wanted to, really get clear on what are the stats for you in terms of user proof, and are those numbers growing so that we know that there's truly and authentically an increasing user base as you continue to grow.
Yeah, our user base is growing every day, actually, especially with our referral programs running and our systems that we have in place. Travala.com is a very brandable and a very user-friendly site. And it is proven in the way that we operate. I mean, we get tweeted daily of people who, booked, had a successful booking, had a really good experience with the whole system itself, how easy and automated it is. And that really adds to this value of the user passing on that information to other users and spreading that social reach and more users coming to the site. And Traveller itself has spent zero on marketing. And we have over 20,000 users right now that are active, registered, and we're achieving bookings, regular monthly growth, actually. We've had 20% month-on-month growth since January last year, which in itself is, second to none. I mean, we can even see this for anybody who wants to check it out. They can go check out our website traffic on any third-party site, SimilarWeb or Alexa provided by Amazon, and really check out. We're growing. We're not looking to stop anytime soon. The crypto space is huge. We don't think we've got the whole space right now, but we will do. Look at Binance. Binance is growing. It's growing constantly, month on month. It's growing. Those users are coming from somewhere, and we are acquiring users as well. Just like any big project that has real value to give to the space, that's where we'll see the growth in the space. Right,
and clearly, if incentives continue and programs continue to exist for you and from your team, that's going to imply significant growth, because you have to have some sort of incentive for those who aren't perhaps crypto savvy now and can enter into and see the benefits of exactly what you stand for and why it's more seamless, why it's easier to perhaps make some transactions. Utilizing the technology, but first and foremost, it's that use case that really should be driving that. Now, in that sense, I did want to ask you this: speculation is often still the primary use case here within the crypto space. People want to make that blockchain bet or that spec bet, as we call it. But in your situation, you are clearly driving for utility. That's the big narrative behind Travala. So, does it frustrate you sometimes when you hear, people saying, what about the price of Travala? Is it going to grow? Is it going to 2x or 3x? When really that should be secondary to the utility.
For me as a founder of the Travala.com platform, obviously, price is not something that I regularly look at. It's more utility, more users, and that's really our focus point. We want more users. We want more people using it, because we know that there is a limited supply, and the more users that have it, that's better for everybody.
Yes, and so that's the interesting part of tokenomics and tokenmetrics. You can talk about that if you'd like to, because many people don't perhaps understand you can have a utility that has a finite structure, and therefore as you grow, by necessity, and by mechanics, that token should appreciate in value by default because of usage.
Yeah, and I mean, aside from value in terms of monetary value, as it grows and as the user base grows, which is what we focus on, more users, that token theoretically, it's got to do something, whether it becomes less in demand, there's less supply available. That's obviously the equation there. And that's really what we focus on. We want users. We want people coming to the platform and making bookings. Everybody who makes a booking on the Travala.com platform receives the token as a give back. Everybody, regardless of how they pay and regardless of whether they're in the membership program. So really, that's how we are looking at our growth, and that's exactly what we're doing moving forward.
It's super interesting, especially coming into 2020 as well, Matt, because it really seems like more and more people are looking towards the utility, towards the tech-centric sort of philosophy or underpinning value proposition of these technologies, of the blockchain, and even, DLT more generally. So in your situation, clearly you're focused on not so much, or not the speculation at all, not the constant discussion of price that we see through CT or crypto Twitter, and even, on other platforms, but really you're trying to encourage and espouse a transitioning into, let the use case drive it, let the utility drive all of crypto, because that's the way forward in the future. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I mean, back to what you said before about, previously you had mentioned to you about there's a limited amount of users. Well, yeah, there may be right now a limited amount of users, but we know that that's going to grow. And we're all in crypto for a reason, because we believe that it is going to grow and it is the next big thing. It is the next big .com bubble. I'm not going to say it's a bubble in itself, but it's the next driver and the next movement forward. So in that sense, we know that more users are going to come. Yeah. And we know that more users are coming daily, monthly. I mean, it's only a matter of time before, parents start to join it. And it goes from that demographic of typically millennial, to, the baby boomers, to the Gen Zs when they come to fruition. Things like that. So yeah, it's all very interesting, and it's all going to be great over the next 10 years, and I can't wait for it.
I agree, mate. And to be honest with you transitioning into stablecoins as well, or adding that to the cryptocurrency portfolio or suite of options, that could be a game changer in itself, in terms of access, in terms of, removing some of the volatility concerns of perhaps the consumer. So do you expect this is going to really shift the stats? It's going to really perhaps, open up a market share, or open up a number of users that simply you haven't seen before?
I think it will, because it'll allow us to access different different user base. You do have Bitcoin users, you have Bitcoin Cash users, and essentially when they want to use that currency, they can use it. But they also probably do have stable coins, and we want to make sure that we offer a whole variety of different ways for users to pay, so that they can transact in the way that they feel most comfortable in.
Right. Okay. Now, what do you say to those people out there, not just the Maximals, but anyone suggesting that stable coins are not cryptocurrencies? Now, that's an interesting point that they make. What are your thoughts on it?
People are using them. It doesn't matter to us as an e-commerce platform what they use and how they pay. If it has a value and we can accept it, we will accept it, and move forward.
Got it. Okay, so just talking on your token performance as well, because obviously, you're not price focused, but I need to raise this because so many people in crypto still are, and because speculation is so rife. It's been interesting watching your price movement. It's relatively stable. It hasn't fluctuated in a great extent, roughly, from 0.08 to 0.16 USD. So do you want to just comment? Is there anything you wanted to say with regard to that? Because I found that was quite interesting, given that you're still doing a lot of business. You're still creating revenue, I assume. So how is it possible that this has happened where it's not that much in flux?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I don't actually watch the token on the markets at all. So I guess it's just, we just allow the market to do what the market wants to do. Right. We try and attract more users to the website, and try and give content about the AVA token and how it can be used and how people can use it on the site. We see regular increases. We see monthly increases in the amount of smart membership programs that are being activated on the site. We're seeing a constant increase of AVA actually being locked into the platform rather than being in the open markets. So yeah, it's interesting to see that it is staying around a figure. Again, I can't really comment on that because I don't actually know the answer.
Perhaps it's a good thing that you don't know the answer though, Matt, because you don't follow along with the price. And what's interesting too is that I've noticed also, being one who's interviewed you and represented Travala and helped out as much as I can, in the beginning there was a lot more discussion from the wider community about price, just like every other token out there. But it seems to be, in your case particularly, less of a discussion, now coming from the community, even in your platforms or social media. So that arguably is a good sign, because there seems to be an increasing number who are aware that the utility is the the core asset. And it really is just about, if you want to use it, great. If you don't, there's heaps of other tokens out there for whatever it is you want.
Yeah, exactly. And it's always been like our core value that we are pushing a utility token here. That is what it is. Like we mentioned earlier, we do believe that as user bases grow, everything will grow. Revenues, everything across the board, including the token. And we obviously want to reiterate that because it is important. It is a key fragment of this as well.
Absolutely, mate. Now, revenue, talk us through some numbers, because obviously you want to be able to eat, you want to be, as a CEO, you want to grow the team. How are you going in terms of runway and being able to afford all of this as you continue to build and increase your user base?
Yeah, we have probably like 12 to 18 months runway, if not 24 months on how we are right now. Right. We recently, actually 6 months ago now, we completed a crowdfunding round where we allowed users and community members to actually become traditional shareholders in the Travala.com platform. We will actually be launching another crowdfund very soon, towards the end of this year, as part of our strategy to onboard as many of the community as we can. Alongside some other strategic investors and VCs that will we hope will be coming on very, very soon. And yeah, we're giving these offers to the community to sort of bring them on board, while we are relatively, I will say, small. We're still relatively big, I believe that, but we believe that we're going to be the next unicorn, the next $1 billion travel project. So that's how we're moving forward, and that we've got about 18-24 months runway realistically.
Got it, mate. Now, I did want to ask you this, because we see this kind of thing play out when CEOs like you start to come up with cool ideas and then build this and basically work your butt off, as you've done for well over a year now. But then other companies, that are mainstream focused in the travel industry, for example, start to really notice what you're doing. Have you had that situation play out where they knock on your door and say, hey, we'd like to buy you out, or we'd like to collaborate, because obviously they have significant reach in the mainstream? So has anything like that happened where you had the option to either collaborate with mainstream parties, or obviously they see your value and they just want the lion's share and want to take your startup?
I mean, we've just signed, the perfect example is we've just signed a strategic partnership with Booking.com. Okay. You can't get bigger than that in the crypto space, in the traditional space, sorry. They are working with us. We are working with them. Before we worked with them, no one in the world could book any inventory from Booking.com with cryptocurrency, but now they can through Travala.com. So really, we're showcasing that there is a value in cryptocurrency. There is a value in the space. As we grow, we expect parties to be interested in that sort of thing. I've got nothing to comment on that right now. And that's it, basically.
Got it, mate. Now, Roger Ver, as you know, he's a huge proponent of using tokens. Even when it comes to sound money, he argues that he's an advocate for the original white paper. I won't get into the argument, the politics there, but he certainly advocates for use in the context of cryptocurrency. So is he a supporter of what you're doing? Because clearly you're once again about a specific use case, to expand travel in the context of crypto spending.
Yeah, Roger's a great guy. I've had a few calls with him over the past few months, actually. He really loves the fact that, we do accept Bitcoin Cash, and there's a reason why we're in the Bitcoin Cash wallet, and it's because we were able to create a cool relationship with Roger and the rest of the Bitcoin Cash team and the Bitcoin.com guys as well. And I'm really connect with them on a level of, we want to provide use case, not just for Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash or Ethereum, but for everyone. We want to be there for every single project and every single product. So yeah, he really understood our vision and really, really liked it and really valued it. And that's why, we're a strategic partner with Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin.com.
Got it, mate. Now, do you worry about competitors? Because this space is really just in its first innings, as you know, and there's lots of other travel-based startups that have emerged or tried to in the past. Some are more maximalist geared in that they want to advocate for spending certain assets. But, is there space for more than one? And are you at all worried?
No, we love competition, and we love to see competition mimic the moves that we make, mimic the things that we create, and that enables us to see that we are the leaders, and we are leading this space from a travel and an e-commerce side as well. You know, from our UX to our marketing strategies, we thrive on the fact that they are being copied, because we know we're doing things right, and it enables us to stay steps ahead because we've already played a move that they're playing 2 months later. So it does enable us to stay ahead, and it does enable us to thrive off as a team internally. It allows us to thrive off what is happening there. And yeah, it's really, really a good thing. And the creative minds that we have within the Travala team enable us to, you know, create these cool concepts, create these cool growth hacking techniques, which are completely oblivious to most across the space. And that comes from, you know, having key interests in the marketing side of things and how things really work on the back end of different functions and different systems. So yeah, it's great for us, and we absolutely thrive off it.
Got it. Now, you mentioned booking.com. That really piqued my interest because, once again, they have a global reach and they've been known for some time. What about targeted marketing strategies and targeted mainstream platforms of the future? I just want to really focus on that because, once again, you're utility driven, and you want more and more people to know about your platform so they can start to trial it, try and test it, and experiment with cryptocurrencies. So what is in the pipeline that you can tell us, Matt, in terms of what other entities are you currently talking to that are going to really change the game when it comes to your brand being put out there in regions of the globe where they perhaps don't know anything about crypto, or they don't know the relationship or potential between travel and crypto?
Obviously, I can't disclose the brands specifically.
You can try.
We have things in play, and they will be will be put out when they are officially done deals. Aside from that, regarding reach, we have a really cool strategy around our app that is set to be released late December, early January time, based on our timings that we have right now. And really that's going to be focused on the mainstream audience, because we have some cool tools that is going to be included in that. That's really going to allow us to reach those audiences in a low cost growth hack style, which is proven to work. And yeah, I can't wait for that, to be honest. That's really what I'm really looking forward to, especially coming from like a Gen Z millennial age. It's something that I'm really excited for, because apps are the future. I mean, over 50% of our website traffic comes on mobile, and that just says it all. We need an app right now.
Yeah, mate.
And,
so
we will
that's
have one
exciting.
very soon. So yeah.
So that's happening soon. The app, is something to come. So I guess that's one of the big, draw cards as well, is that you've been doing this, for some years now. And really, when you started, there wasn't anything quite like what you were planning on building. And even with other competitors coming through, the market's still very nascent, and there's a lot of opportunity out there. But you certainly have arguably one of the pole positions when it comes to this particular vertical of travel, when it comes to also the ease of spending, now that you're bringing in stablecoins to the mix. So Matt, thank you so much for this update. I sincerely do appreciate it. I'm really excited to hear the strength of your utility grow, because once again, this is affirmed time and time again. Every time we catch up, it's getting clearer that there's more users onboarding. You're putting programs into place that make it possible, most importantly, to grow the Travala network and to grow the brand so that more people trial it, use it, and fundamentally start to treat it as a viable means of payment, just like they can in other contexts. So you're clearly an advocate for cryptocurrency, in this context. So keep going, mate. Build that utility. And certainly let us know anytime there is more updates, because I'll be right here to support you as you start to, really showcase what you can do next year.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Brad. And thanks everyone for listening.
No worries, mate. Take care.